The Bamboo Project podcast starts in 3, 2.
Welcome to the Bamboo Project podcast. My name is Donovan Gray, the future $10 billion man. On the way to 10 billion, I decided I'm going to help create 1,000 millionaires, including myself. And not by being a guru or selling a course, but by doing the things I already love to do every day and documenting the journey to get there. I figure I'll make all the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is Donovan Gray, and this is how I will turn my life into a living. I'd like to start off by giving a shout out to all the people rocking with us and supporting the channel. We really appreciate you. We are currently streaming on all major streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor. You name it, we on it. And if we not on it, we about to be on it. For everyone listening to this podcast and not watching it, you can find us on YouTube at The Bamboo Project. We have over 400 videos on our channel. 400. Do you want to learn real estate? We got that. Do you want cooking tutorials inspired by Dr.Sebi? We got that. Do you want travel and lifestyle vlogs? Got it. Makeup? Got it. Basketball? Got it. It's everything us. All the parts of the journey that don't make it to YouTube will probably be on our story. You can find me on Instagram at Donovan Gray, DONIVANGRAY, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. Okay? The Bamboo Project is about turning your life into a living by making money off the things you already do every day. We made different playlists for all the things we're into, and you can find all of those links in the description box below. This may be your first time here, and if it is, welcome to the family. But for everyone else, this is chapter 3, page 123. This podcast has 4 different segments: life update, episode playback, Donovan's questions, and the topic of the day. All video and audio timestamps will be in the description box below. Today's date is July 26, Tuesday. And it is kind of late. It's 5:46 p.m. So we're probably done with this podcast like 7 something. Before we get to the life update, we're going to do screen time. And y'all already know, I know it's your favorite time of the podcast is screen time. Yay. Woo, yay, woo, yeah. And I know the saying, for those who are new, the saying is, if I don't take advantage of my phone, then my phone will take advantage of me. And if I want to be a billionaire, that is probably not the best way to get there. Okay. Don't say nothing this time. So for this week, or last week, excuse me, my average screen time each day was 7 hours and 48 minutes. Okay. That is down from last week, which was 9 hours and 25 minutes. That's a lot. All right. According to my phone, that's a 17% decrease. Okay. YouTube was 22 hours and 16 minutes. Instagram was 10 hours and 5 minutes. And Google Maps was 5 hours and 6 minutes. So for the whole week, it was 54 hours and 41 minutes. My pickups are really high, but it was down from last week. Picking up my phone 110 times per day. It just sounds so addictive. I feel like to do anything 110 times a day is just crazy, other than like breathing. Beautiful, phenomenal, amazing girlfriend, what is your screen time looking like?
This might be my lowest in a while. So my average for last week is 6 hours and 13 minutes.
Damn, addiction. You gotta listen. You gotta put your phone down more often.
6 hours. Ooh.
Obviously, your screen time is so high.
So I spent 10 hours on Google Maps last week. I spent 10 hours on Instagram. That's suspicious. Google Maps. I spent the same exact amount of time on Google Maps as I did on Instagram. That's very suspicious.
Listen.
Music was number 3 at 5 hours and 30 minutes, and TikTok was number 4 at 3 hours and 27 minutes for the week. And I picked up my phone 119 times, which is down 17% from the week prior, in which I picked up my phone 144 times.
Damn, that's almost 200 times. That's crazy. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I know what the title says. But before I get to that, there's something I want to address, and I don't think I've ever done this on the podcast before. It's not really my nature. I could be in good spirits. That could be the reason why. But I feel very grateful like very, very grateful for everybody that watches the podcast, for everybody that has supported us and helped us to get to where we are now. The list is so long, like it's so many people that have really teamed up to help us get to where we're at. And from a year ago to where we are at now, we are in a way better position. We're not out of the mud yet, but we are in a way better position as opposed to last year, where we had no idea of how to make money. We had no money coming in. At that point, it was just, we still, like I said, we have money coming in. We just have really high expenses. So it's like, it might as well have no money. But I'd rather have that than like expenses and no money. Like I remember there was a point where we had no money coming in at all. So like I said, I'm very grateful for that. Something else that I wanted to, I guess, show my gratitude towards is Melissa, because as far as the candles go, we're talking about the candles, not the other stuff, because, well, we did a craft fair this weekend, right? And some of y'all probably don't know, we have a candle business where we sell candles. Ember Candle Co. MBURCANDLE.co. Now, the reason that I want to express my gratitude for Melissa, or just how much I appreciate her in this situation, is because the candles at every craft fair we do, people love the candles, and like they love the setup, they love the smell, they love the logo, they love the name of the candle, the brand name, the color scheme, the idea behind everything. They just love all of that, and it makes my job a lot easier selling the candles because it's a great product. Now, of course, listen, when it comes to sales, I'm just saying that, I got a little knack for it, but it makes my job so much easier, and I can have the conviction when I sell the candles because I know they're a good candle. Part of this is coming from a recent comment that we had on the channel, where somebody, I'm gonna read the comment because, like I said, this is kind of what inspired me just feeling like this. So someone said, I bought the people watching candle at your table on Sunday, and this is my all-time favorite candle. It smells amazing and is long lasting. I just bought 2 more on your website. I'm so excited and loved when you guys shared with me the helpful tips to keep my candles in good care. Smiley face. Now, like I said, to me, that I read that Melissa got the comment, showed it to me, and I was just overwhelmed with this feeling of, I guess, happiness or joy. And I think it comes from the fact that people enjoy the things that we put out there. And that's why I feel, like I said, with the podcast, people enjoy listening to the podcast. All the comments I'm reading, conversing with people in the comments about different topics that we go through every week. And it just feels really good to be able to, I guess, express your artistic feelings or just express yourself artistically, and people are able to enjoy what you're putting out there. Whether it be the Turo videos, whether it be the candles, whether it be the podcast, whether it be the channel in general, just things we put out there, people enjoy, and it makes me personally feel good that people can enjoy it. Like I said, I just really wanted to put that out there. It feels, this is a feeling that have I had this before? I can't say I had this before. Yeah, I don't think I can say that, because I think this is the first time, maybe with basketball, probably something close, because to me, I view basketball as art, like the way people dribble, the way they set screens, the way they play, and the spacing and things like that. I view it as art. So to see good basketball, to see people hear or talk about me when I'm playing good and they have compliments, that makes me feel good. But I've never tried to sell that. I've never tried to put it out there. I just kind of go to the park and play, and people give me compliments on it. So I'm like, okay, that feels good. But this is something that to me feels very different, where people are like, I really enjoy experiencing what you're experiencing. So for me, the equivalent would be if somebody could be in my body when I play basketball and then feel that thing. Yo, do you feel this is crazy, right? So I just wanted to put that out there, because I'm usually a very, how would I put that? I'm usually a very nonchalant, kind of in the middle, neutral type of person. So when it comes to expressing, my appreciation or my love or stuff like that, I do it. But this time, it's a different kind of feeling that I have for this. But that is enough of that, because I don't want to get too, just mad gay. So
I can't say that.
Nah, that's gay. That's gay. But yeah, like I said, so just shout out to all of y'all. And then something else, like I said, it's so much different things. Like shout out to my guy Emilio, because like I said, this in the last day, a lot of things have happened, day or two. And I'm just like, I just feel really good to see how things are going, because Emilio, we met through YouTube, and at that time, I think he was working. He didn't want to work anymore. He wanted to get into wholesaling. He had found our channel trying to get into wholesaling, and he's been trying to do it. And he was, we would try and cold call, together, try and find leads and do things like that to get a deal. And we never got a deal. Right. So I was like, I'm going to put a pause on it because I need to focus on this house to get the house done. And then he's like, okay, he wanted to double down with him and his girlfriend to be like, okay, I want to really get into it. So they quit their job to be able to go and actually pursue wholesaling. Right. And it's so crazy because they closed 4 deals, I think, since January, possibly. So I don't know how much they made in total, but I know they made at least $17,000 from wholesaling. They said they had their biggest deal was for 10. On our channel, we have an episode with them where they made their first $7,500, their first check, when they got their very, very, very first deal. So now they're taking the money to go on, I think it's a vacation they're going on to El Salvador. So to see things like that, I remember we used to be on the phone talking about how sellers are really like, it's hard to get a deal. This is harder than people say it is. I don't understand. And now the fact that he is doing that, it just makes me feel good to see that. And then, like I said, you have him doing that. You have us doing what we're doing. And Melissa and I were talking about this, where some people have probably watched the What is the Bamboo Project video on our channel. It's fairly long, and, it was very raw. But we talk about the whole reason behind the Bamboo Project name. And I think that the last 2 years, maybe I guess 3 years now at this point, 2 years, 2 and some change, has really been the roots getting into the ground. Like, I really feel like that's what it is. And I feel like the bamboo tree is starting to make like its first sprout. Like, it's actually like just breaking the dirt. And I feel like that's where we're at right now. Like, the fact that we have money coming in, we have a strategy to make money going forward. Like, I think it's just a lot of things like that. So, like I said, I don't want to be too gay, but we're gonna move forward with the rest of the a little gay is fine, but too much is, you don't want to do too much gay. Same thing with being straight. You don't want to be too straight. You want to be a little gay, a little straight together. You don't want to be too much of either or. But yeah. So I just feel a feeling that I feel happy, like, enjoy from everybody who's being successful and things like that. And even somebody else, it's unrelated, but somebody else who had watched the channel, she was like, yeah, I want to get 3 tour. I want to start Turo this week. I was like, all right, yeah, try this, see if you could do that, whatever. Next week, she's like, yeah, I got 3 cars. I was like, damn, you got 3 cars? I'm like, god damn, like, shout out, like, that's crazy. But anyways, back to more serious things. So as the title probably says, we have fired our agents. There was a lot of mixed reviews or comments for last week. I mean, people I've talked to, some people said it was not the best idea. Some people said that was a good idea. And I think one thing that I've heard was that, shout out to Tori, it was that the point we're at in our deal, we should be more willing to put up with bad or not so good real estate agents, because they're going to be a one-off. Like, we're not going to be or have a very long continued relationship with them. So I should give them more slack for what they're doing. For me, the reason why I decided to fire them was mostly because it's a shift in how I approach business that I have to be able to internalize. And I don't want to keep saying to myself, like, okay, we're right there, let's just keep using somebody that's bad just because we're right at the finish line. And I feel like that's the same reason that we ended up with the contract that we have now, is because the whole process was, okay, if we were right there, we could just get somebody to do the project. Okay, if we could just get him to do a little bit better, a little bit more, just do a little bit better here, week after week, month after month, over a year now, we keep doing that, and this project costs us a lot of money, costs us way more time than it should, and I'm definitely scarred from that. So I don't even want to, like, I'm very sensitive to that now. Like if I was to think about it as like an actual cut on my skin, I am very sensitive to having somebody and having these blips, as I call them, where I'm like, ooh, what was that? I don't like that. Nah. I don't like that. And for them, like I said, it was more than one blip. So the podcast was shot on Tuesday. I believe I called them the following day when we had went. Where are we going that day? We weren't going to Philly, were we? We were in the car. We were going to Jersey to get wax for the candles. And I texted them in the group chat and I said, hey, I would, like to cancel the contract we have together and so on and so forth, right? I don't even think I said more than that. I might just said I want to cancel the contract. So I got a call from the broker. So look at it like 3 levels. You have a brokerage, which is the top. Then you have the broker who usually runs that brokerage, and then you have the agents underneath them. So the broker of that brokerage called me. Now, I've been dealing with her before because I've talked to her about this property. So I appreciate the fact that she called me, because she could have easily just said, okay, that's fine, I'll cancel it, we're good to go. But she called and wanted to know what was going on, why did I want to cancel it. I actually have never heard from the agent yet, which is also kind of disappointing, but it's also kind of the reason why I feel like it was better to let her go, because I think that if I would want to know what you feel like I did wrong, and I would want to know how I can get better at it. Because I may at least take a criticism and go, okay, I don't agree with what you're saying. Or I might take it and go, okay, I'm going to try and get better. But she didn't text me and say, hey, I appreciate working with you. She didn't call me or anything. So I'm like, okay, that kind of speaks to what I felt like was happening with the project in general. So I'm on the phone with the broker and she's kind of asking me what's going on. Now, here's my biggest issue that I had with the agent on the property. It's initiative and what was the other one? And her selling ability. Those are the major 2 things was initiative and selling ability, right? For me, I want initiative. I don't think you have to be the best agent at what you do. That would be nice, but I also want initiative. The reason why I don't think I need to hire the best agent in the city is because they may go, hey, your house is $315,000. I mostly only sell $7 million houses. I'll get to you when I get to you. They may be the best in the city, but they aren't the best for me. And I don't want somebody who has no experience either, but I want somebody who's somewhere in the middle, who has experience, a good amount of experience, and they have the drive to want to get the deal done. And I think that comes down to a personality trait, because everybody will run their business differently. Something works for some people, others work for other people. For me, I'm like, hey, if you tell me you're going to come to the house, I want to see, are you going to come to the house? That was my biggest thing after the first couple of blips. If you don't come to the house, there's no initiative. Like, you just like, okay, whatever happens, happens. So when I explained that to the broker, she said to me, well, she thought that she was waiting for you to send her the security password or something to that effect, right? And in my head, I'm thinking, y'all have been to the house 4 times, 5 times or something like that. Y'all have the code to get in the house. So, and that particular agent actually has the code for the security system inside the house, because he had to go there to disarm and do something else for us. So I'm like, okay, that reads to me that she did not want to go to the house. What the reason for that is, I don't know. But it also shows, I feel like, I don't know if this is the case, but I feel like she will have that same approach when it comes to dealing with buyers or other agents and trying to get this deal closed. I need somebody going to go, hey, I'm calling you back. Did your buyer want to do this deal? What did they say? Let's try and negotiate on this. That was one of my issues. The second issue, like I talked about in that podcast from before or last week, is her ability to sell. When it comes to selling, you can make a bad problem sound good. And it's not by lying. It's by pointing out the parts of it that can be beneficial to a person who wants to buy it. Because, and this is an example of that. So the basement had water in it, right? Now, one agent can say, hey, water is a very common thing in Philadelphia, and I know some people who have had water and they turn it into an elevator storage space. It's not a lot of water. It's enough to come down here and do your laundry, but it's not a place that you would obviously go and sleep on the floor. It's a place that you can store your things, keep them safe, and have extra space for your house. Or you could say, man, there's a lot of water in the basement. I personally wouldn't want to be down there. I don't know why they didn't get the water fixed. It's some water over there. It's kind of dirty and it kind of smells. It's like those two people are talking about the same house. And all you got to do is position it differently of how you speak about it. And that can change the perception of how it is perceived by somebody else. So that was my second biggest issue. So during the phone call, and I had told her this. I said, right now where I'm at in my life, I'm looking for great people to work with, not good people. And I think you guys are good, but I need really good and great. And she said, okay, I'm hurt by that you feel like we're not great and we're just good. So that was kind of how the conversation went. And I kind of explained to her what I just explained to y'all as to why I wanted to get a different agent. So now Melissa and I, after that, had a conversation. So during the convo with the agent, I didn't touch much on initiative. I kind of addressed it, but I feel like I mostly went into how she was selling the property to me when it came to the water in the basement. So after the phone call, I felt bad, right? And Melissa said the reason she felt like I felt bad was because I didn't address more of the fact that the agent didn't have initiative. For me, the reason I felt like I felt bad was because I liked them. They were good people. And she was about to have a baby. And, we had a semi-relationship over the last couple of weeks. We've laughed and joked on the phone about the candles. We talked about the podcast. So they're fun people and I enjoy them as friends or things, whatever, associates, whatever you want to call them. But when it comes to the business, that's not for me right now what I feel like is the best. So then during the call, she said to me, hey, how about this? How about I take over the listing? But the issue is, she said, how about I take over the listing? I could probably do it for about 3 or 4 weeks, but then I'm going to be on maternity leave the next month. And I'm like, that's a good option. However, you're going on maternity leave. And I think it's just something I should just say, hey, you know what? You're going on maternity leave. We're going to be in the same case in a month from now. I'm going to have this agent who I didn't want on it now doing the work. I'd rather just cut our ties here before we get any deeper into the contract. So, like I said, after the call, I didn't feel very good about it. But here's my overall take on the phone call, right? Before I made the phone call, every question I asked myself said I should let them go. The questions I asked myself were, if I had more time, would I hire them or keep them? The answer was no, I wouldn't. The other question was, were there blips that they had that I didn't like? Yes. Do I feel like they are the great at their job? No. Do I feel like they're really good at their job? Not really. So I'm like, okay, why would I keep them then? Like, what is my reason for keeping? Because I like them? That's really the only reason. So it was kind of a conflict as to when I let them go because I still felt bad afterwards. But going forward, after the phone call, the feeling kind of subsided. And I felt like, okay, I feel a lot calmer now. I feel more relaxed. I'm like, okay, I think we made the right decision in doing that. So here's how we're going about the house now. I've been calling agents over the last week or so, and I've been talking to them about if they have a buyer or not. I've been calling agents on properties, right? The specific agents I've been calling are the ones that represent the buyers for those houses and asking them, hey, do you have other buyers that weren't able to qualify for that particular house or that want a different kind of house? So for me, I feel like it has been a good start to these phone calls. I know I had one person. I've had one person for sure have a buyer go to the house because multiple people have had buyers. And the thing I've heard the most from all the buyers at the house is a little bit too far north. That's the only problem I've heard. Everyone loves the way the house looks. They said it's a beautiful house. They said the work looks amazing. They're just saying like, hey, it's a little bit higher than we want. Now, and I've been telling people $315 for the house. And if y'all remember, the old agents once listed at $295. So I have not heard any pushback on the price of the house. Everybody's been like, yeah, that seems fine. And I'm like, okay, that if we get $315, that'd be great. The only problem we have to overcome right now is the actual location. They were saying if it was a block or two lower, it'd be better. And one of the agents had their buyer drive around the property, which is, again, great. She said that she didn't like the area because she felt like there was a little bit too many vacant houses for her particular liking. There was also a, what else was it? There's new construction, so it's not finished yet, but because it's still going up, she's like, I'd rather wait until those houses are finished being built and then come to that area, because she said as a single woman, she doesn't feel as safe to be walking around that area by herself, going home and going to work. But here's how I read that. That's a good step or starting place for us, because like, okay, we found somebody that has a buyer. They came to the house. They liked the house. The only issue was the actual location. So I probably talked to but at least 4 to 6 buyers, or 4 to 6 agents have had buyers. And one agent went to the property. He liked it. He's gonna show it to his buyers. I've had a lot of different conversations with people. So I think we're going in the right direction. I'm trying to tweak my, search results or my search filters to figure out who exactly I want to target for a buyer for the house. What I've been doing now is we're doing like this, okay? Let's say you have a house that's like $340, okay? Maybe it's a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, something like that. Maybe even $350. I feel like because the market is shifting, somebody who's going to buy the house might go, you know what? We can't afford $350 no more. We could do $315. We could do $320. And to me, I'm like, listen, that's right in my ballpark. You may get a little bit smaller house, but you save $40,000-$50,000. You could take that money, renovate the basement, add a 3rd floor to your house. Whatever you want to do, you can add that to your house, or save that money and go on vacation. Whatever you want to do. So as opposed to targeting buyers at my specific price point, I'm now going up and seeing who wants to come down to the price. The next thing I'm doing is I'm also going to call the agents who are listing the properties, because I feel like they may have buyers, one, or let's say someone comes to try to buy the house from them. They could also say, hey, this may not work for you, but I have a pocket listing that's $315, $315, beautiful house. What do you think about it? So that's kind of where we're at right now as far as the direction of the house. The last thing for that, as far as my strategy goes, is I want to start calling like mortgage loan officers, and maybe even lawyers, just people who are in the real estate business who may be in touch with buyers. I feel like with a mortgage loan officer, they will have people they approve for loans. So they may be able to say, hey, how much you got approved for was $325. I know a person has a house for $315. And then maybe I can structure some type of payment plan or payment for the guy or girl who does it and helps us get the house. Helps us sell the house. So that's where we're at as far as that goes. Now, I'm going to put a picture up right here it's only one picture of a virtual staging that we paid for. Okay. It was $24 for this one picture. And to me, another great start, because instead of paying $3,200 for a listing that lasts 3 months or a staging that lasts 3 months, we can pay maybe $300 and have the whole house virtually staged. And that they have lower prices than that. But if I'm sending this to people, they go, oh, I like that. That looks good. They come to the house and go, okay, I've seen what it looks like with furniture in it. I'm in the house. It looks nice. Okay. And we save a lot of money doing that. Thousands of dollars. So I'm like, okay, I think that's a good direction to go to. The only thing is we have to go back out to Philly to get better pictures for the staging. But the one we have and what I'm showing here, it's not bad. Like, it's not a bad picture. On to the next thing. Okay. It also should be in the title as well. The craft fair. Okay. We made $1,300 at the craft fair in 2 days. And this goes back to what I was talking about earlier, where I said we have found a way to make money. And like I said, again, as I said earlier in the podcast, shout out to Melissa, because making candles was her idea. Like, okay, I want to make candles. And I was like, who buys candles, Melissa? I'm like, don't nobody buy candles. That's not a thing. Like, people, like, okay, like I said, if you want to do it, I'm here. But I'm like, I don't know people really buying candles. So we're at the point where we are very confident that we will make $600 to $800 in a day selling candles at the craft fair, right? So now this is where my expertise comes in, where it's like, okay, how do we get this, $800 a day on 2 days to 20, 30, 50K a month? Like, that is my goal, is to blow it up to that, so at least it can pay our bills. At the craft fair, we had got online orders from somebody that actually came to the craft fair. One thing we've been trying to focus on is how can we get more orders online, so we don't have to actually be at the craft fair every single weekend or every day to sell candles, because they have another fair, right? And in this fair, like I said, it's only 7 days a week. And I'm like, if we had enough inventory to sell candles every single day, let me do the math on what that would be. There's 300 candles you would have to bring, right? So if my math is correct, let me see, it will be 35. So we would make $6,000 in a week, roughly, if we was to sell candles every single day at the craft fair.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's kind of crazy.
Yes.
6,000?
6,000. If we sell out every day.
Right.
So here's a method for y'all. So how we structure our inventory for the candles is that we would do 42 candles per day at the craft fair, 30 small ones and 12 big ones. The smaller ones are $15 and the bigger ones are $35. So 42 candles at those price points times 7 will get me to $6,090. It'd be $2,940 for the big ones and about $3,000 something for the small ones. So, like I said, think about that. If we found a way to have a loan to get from a bank or MCA lender to cover the inventory it would cost to do the craft fair and pay for it, that would be 6,000 times 4, which would be $24,000 in 1 month selling candles. If we're working every single day for the month, we could make $24,000. But you also have to pay for the craft fair itself. So let's say the craft fair, I believe, is $1,500 for the week. Yeah. So $1,400. So that would be $4,000. Yeah. That don't seem right. Oh, never mind. Damn. That's crazy. Okay. Because I was like, the 6,000 numbers only for 1 week, but the 4,000 numbers for the whole month. Right. So we would probably make.
Still crazy. That means we would make the money back in the first week and still make a profit.
Right. So we would make like $20,000 in a month if we worked every single day at a craft fair. Now that's crazy. Now that is insane. And that's just us by ourselves going to our, let's say that was our job. Our job is to go sell candles. We go there 7 days a week from 11 to 5, 11 to 6, and just sell candles. That will generate online sales. It will generate Instagram followers. It will sell candles at the place. It's crazy. So yeah, it's things like that make me go, okay, we are closer to getting to a point where the bamboo tree is going to just sprout up like this. Like we're almost at that point. And we really want to focus on, like I said, the online thing, which is why we want to do affiliate marketing, because we're thinking, like I said before, if people are also selling the candles and getting a payment from the candles, they have more incentive to sell the candles. They go, hey, I have a candle that I'm selling for $35. If you want to buy it, you can. And then that person who says that gets a percentage of it. That's all they gotta do, and they get paid. So I'm like, as a smaller creator, if somebody offered us that back in the day, I would 100% take it. I would probably take it now, probably. I feel like, yeah, I'll probably take it now. If it was a product that I use, I would absolutely do it now. If somebody said Fiji water affiliate marketing, I'd be like, look at this water. Hey, look at this. So, bro, I'm telling you, this candle thing is really crazy. Like I said, I was talking earlier in the podcast about how so many people have helped us out to get to where we're at. And this last craft fair that we did is only because Melissa's friend Brittany gave us the money to get into the craft fair. The craft fair cost $300. So that money we took from the $300 that she gave us, we got into the craft fair and we made $1,300 from the $300 she gave us. And I'm like, it's just insane. Like, so, bro, I guess my mind is blown. And yeah, like I said, it's a crazy thing. It's really crazy that we are like on the brink of getting out of this nonsense that we're in. I don't really have words for it because I'm still in it. But I think on the other side, when we sitting back and relaxing finally, that I can actually then go, okay, we have done it. Like, we finally made it. And I said, shout out to Brittany, because she was like, listen, this money is for the craft fair. Put it to the craft fair. Like, don't put it to nothing else. This is for the craft fair. Just the candle. That's it. Put this for the candles. We said, okay, we got you. How can we utilize 300? Can we buy more inventory? Could we put it to affiliate marketing? No. Craft fair. Put it to a craft fair. Made the money back. Easy. Like, listen, this is what we do. When we go to this craft fair, bro, we be at the craft fairs, right? This happens a lot. They be like, yo, people always buying the candle. Like, people are always like, what are y'all doing? Like, oh my God, I can hear y'all selling this. It's amazing. I'm just like, listen, when you have a great product and you have me, it's like the great combination. Like, come on now. So I'm just like, it is what it is. And I'm always really curious about people who sell candles or sell anything at the craft fairs, because I like to know what the barometers are. I think it would be crazy if we are making we have to be top 3 in that place. Like, if we're not number 1, we're definitely top 3 sellers in there, because not only do we sell the most, I think we're averagely priced in that in that market. And the people that are priced higher than us, I don't think they move as many units as we do. Like, think about this. We made $1,300 in 2 days, and on the first day we made $805, right? We did not work for like an hour and a half. We were sitting down tired from selling for like an hour and a half, just not selling. And the second day we ran out. We run out of candles. We sold out of candles, right? And we brought almost 84 candles, 80 something candles, almost like 70, 76 candles.
It was definitely
like 80.
It was 60 plus 22, so it was 82.
So we brought 82 candles, and we left with like 14 candles. So it's like, if we had more candles people wanted to buy, we would have made more money. It's, like I said, it's just mind blowing. So we're still trying to figure out how to blow that up. I'm somewhat reluctant to put like full steam into it, only because I want the house to be done. So my full focus right now is finding a buyer for the house. My strategy now is to give it 2 weeks, possibly, depending on how it goes, and then out of the people I talk to, I would hire an agent that I think is a really good agent to list the property, and then we'll just go from there. So, man, listen, 2023. I thought 2022 was gonna be the year, but I think it's gonna be 2023. Because if once we sell this house and start making money from everything else, bruh. Oh man. Listen. But it's also, as far as the candles go, YouTube just made some new feature that allows creators who don't have 10,000 subscribers. We're not there yet. We're gonna get there real quick. As soon as this house done, we blowing up. But right under that, they now have a feature of people who have at least 1,000 subscribers and are monetized to be able to sell products on the webs, like on YouTube. I know y'all probably see when people have like hats and shirts and things like that. So we're gonna put the candles on the website. Is it a website?
It'll be
on the video, right? On the bottom of the video, when you scroll, you see the candles, and you can purchase a candle there. So I'm excited about getting that up. We have the Amazon account. Like I said, we just need to get the house. This house is like a shackle. Like, the house is like this big ass shackle. Like, just get off of me so we could run. Like, it's like we moving, and the damn house is like, not yet.
Yeah, another thing that stuck out to me about the candles too, normally when we pay for it, you have to choose what category you're in. So there's like a clothing category or like a vintage category, and then candles has its own category. So typically, they do that to make sure there isn't too much of one type of product in the place. So normally there's 2 to 3 candle people, including ourselves, that are there. Mm-hmm. This weekend, there was, how many did you count? 8?
9.
Bruh. 8 people selling candles this weekend. I remember walking in, when you first walk in, right directly next to the door, there's people selling candles. Directly next to us was someone selling candles. Directly across from us was someone selling candles. There was so much candle people in the place this weekend. And it was a little discouraging at first when I came in, because I'm like, sheesh, I never operated in this space. is there enough candles for everybody? And it's insane how well we did, I think, under those circumstances. And I think that every craft fair we've done has had some type of circumstance, whether it was raining, it was snowing, it was winter, now it's summertime, it's a bajillion people.
We ran out of candles.
Right, ran out of candles. So to make the amount that we did in those conditions with so much competition is really just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, like I said, I definitely was like right next to us was a candle person. I'm like, damn, like I would have been better. I mean, it didn't really bother us, obviously, because we still made a decent amount of money. But just for my psyche, I would have rather have us be in our own space, have candles all around the rest of the whole like the fair. But listen, like I said, people walking around, they're like, damn, they see our bags. You know that when you come over, you're gonna buy a candle. People enjoy the candle, they enjoy the experience of being sold the candle, they enjoy leaving with a candle. It's an experience. Like I said, we are coming in strong. We coming in with a great product, great marketing, great sales. From top to bottom is great.
Great setup. Everything. Listen, I look at my face. You see my face? See how great I look? Look at my. You see us? A black couple? Like, come on, look at you. What are you compete? No, what you doing? How you gonna do it? You can't compete. We coming hard. We coming in strong. Like Melissa was saying, our competition is people that are making millions of dollars a year on candles. People who are selling 50, 100 some candles a month online. Like that's our competition. We're like, yeah, how can we get to that level? So it was a great experience. I always have fun at the craft fairs. And I'm just like, it's cool. I don't know if I could do 30 days in a row though. No. That
for 24,000 though?
Nah. I feel like we would just have to take the L and like have somebody else sell for like 2 days or something. At least.
Ooh, my mom maybe. Like.
Right. I mean, like I said, I think it's possible. I think it's doable. Whether it's hiring someone, whether it's.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to put a picture of the house, of the basement that got painted. It looks a lot better than it did before. It's going to be a very blurry picture because the painter took it. Well, I don't know what kind of phone he has. It's obviously not an iPhone. But I like it. It came out looking better, and the floor just has to be cleaned. So I'm okay with how it looks. Like I'm okay with how it looks. I'm okay. Like it's okay. That's the only word I can think of it. And it reaches the bare minimum of what I wanted to do.
And then that's always good because the rest of the house looks great.
Right, exactly. Like if everything else is 100, it's like, okay, the basement is it's a basement.
Right.
You're not supposed to live down here. You could tell we put work into it. It has new equipment. The floor is porcelain tile. The wall is painted. Listen. So I said, we're gonna just find a buyer, bro. You know I didn't tell you this. So boom, I called someone today. Okay. Right, and they had this house on the market for like $330. Right up the block from my house, I think. It might be on Dover Street, I think. It's up the block. And it had left like $330. It's beautiful. Not beautiful, but they have mad finishes where they have like the bowl, the sinks that have the bowl on top. Yeah, they have mad stuff. Showers by itself, basement fully finished. I'm like, wow, this shit $330. That's crazy. I'm like, this kind of helps us out. So I call the agent. He's like, yeah, that listing, I think he said they canceled it, or they either canceled or it expired, one or the other. He said it's already sold. I was like, what? What do you mean it's sold? He's like, yeah, they already sold it. I said, for how much? He was like, they're so stupid. And I was like, what? What do you mean? He said, yo, they're stupid and they are fucking up the housing area. I'm like, what are you talking about? Mm-hmm. They sold this house for $167,000.
What are you talking about? What do you?
Right. You know what? So I'm gonna see if I can find the pictures of the house.
Okay, what's the reason?
So the reason that they decided to sell it is because they got it as a gift from I think it was passed down to them, and they wanted to try out being a flipper. And they didn't want to deal with waiting for the house. They wanted the money. So they sold it at 167, and they have a second property, which is why he said they're stupid, because he was like, that's going to affect the sale for your other house, but they don't understand that, so they just want the money to put out. And I'm like, it costs like 120, 130 to renovate the house. Like if you got it for free, you made 40K.
But they could have made 100 and something K.
They need the money, according to what he said.
To do what?
I don't know. They needed 4, but I can get 40K right now, or I can wait 3 months to get, or 4 months to get 100K.
Yeah, I guess
200K.
Depending on
your circumstance, you motivated seller.
I say a circumstance. I was gonna say an agent.
Oh, so and they had it listed for 330. They could have got 267. So
yeah, that's insane.
Yeah,
that's a waste.
Bro, and fuck up the whole neighborhood. He was like, "Yeah, I have a house over here." I think he said I have 4 houses over there. That's gonna fuck up all the comps. Like, why would you even? Like, why would y'all do that? So yes, that is how that house looks.
Well, honestly, an appraiser probably would use that house as a comp.
Well, sure, an appraiser might not, but
What you mean?
I mean, yeah, I guess that's what matters. I was thinking about other agents; they might still use it.
Oh, I mean, I don't think they matter.
So I wouldn't use it.
I think the appraisers matter more, and like I said, an appraiser wouldn't use that because that's like against everything else in the neighborhood, and it's distress or duress or whatever because they need the money.
Yeah,
that's why they sold it. So that. Like, if you wanted to get a loan on a house, that would not be used as a comp.
That's interesting to say for the guy, for the agent who I was talking to. He definitely didn't say that, and I think that's funny because what you're saying is true, and he probably didn't think about that. But I just think that shit is really crazy.
Well, okay, so I know I declared that I was going to take 2 weeks, not consecutive, by the way, non-consecutive. Like, it wasn't going to be 14 days consecutively. It was going to be in a matter of 2 weeks. I was planning on completing my UX design course. Now, it's very interesting because there's something that, Donovan and I talk about all the time, which is freedom versus, money. Because for me, money is more important. I want to be able to do things. I want to be able to, like, spend money.
I see. I know you do. I know.
And have the money to spend. And I will give up my freedom for amounts of time to get the money to then spend when I'm free again. Now, what I've been coming across a lot lately is people that kind of have had the same mindset as me, kind of going in and out of like the job force and then going back into entrepreneurship. And they're at a point where it's like, I'm just here with my business. I'm just doing this, nothing else. I'm not going back. I'm not interviewing no more. I'm not doing that stuff no more. And it did strike a chord with me because I internally do feel like if I put all my energy into editing videos, into figuring out the candles, whether that's figuring out a business-to-business plan, affiliate marketing, whether that's going and making the candles be a part of like some like a wholesale strategy, whatever. Yeah, still business, but yeah, that putting my energy into that instead of probably the UX design would be beneficial to me. However, after having a conversation with Donovan, I think that it's best for me to still do both. So still do the UX design course because I do think that the information that I've learned there is very important to me specifically, and I feel like it will help me use my superpower, which is empathy. And that's a very big part of the course, and I feel like it'll help me make better decisions or at least understand why. Because what the decisions I made for the candles, how it looks, the places that I wanted to be and all that stuff, it's more so a feeling that I'm guided by, more so than it being like more technical. And I feel like, that's good for me right now at this level, but I need to understand more in order to really, I feel like, bring this to its biggest potential. And I feel like understanding user experience will help me to get there. So I do think it's important for me to finish it. I like to put those time constraints on myself, because if I don't, I feel like I'm not going to finish either at all or within a reasonable amount of time. It's going to be 2 years from now, I'm still talking about doing this UX design course. So that's how I wanted to do it in 2 weeks. But like I said, I'm going to get it done. I'll just add it to one of my goals for this year. Pretty sure I'll get it done by December if I do that. I want to go about it that way, yeah.
I think my perspective on the course was that it's a valuable skill, and it doesn't mean she has to work in UX design. But I also have faith in Melissa's choices sometimes. With this particular thing, this is something I believe that if she thinks she can get a job from it and it'll help us down the line, I am behind her with it, because she's done it before. When it's the same thing with the candles, they're making money. Same thing with the PA thing. She was like, okay, we don't have no money. I need to get a job. How can I get a job? She got the PA job, and she made money from it. So same thing again with the candle. So if she feels like she can make money from UX design in 3 or 4 months doing it, I believe she could do it. Now it just comes down to, will we need it or not need it? And I also think the skill set of having it is valuable. So even if she doesn't decide to take it to an actual job, then it's like, okay, you can then apply this same thing to the business, whether it's how to make, design the candles, or an app, or a spreadsheet, or any website, anything that we're doing, or a product that we make, anything like that. She can take that background into that. And if she finds it to be more interesting and entertaining, she can continue down the path of UX and see where it takes or it leads her. So that's my perspective on the UX design. Okay, so episode Playback, I don't really remember what episode Playback was, but what I do have on here was the episode Melissa was scammed, or almost scammed, for getting her first PA job. That was episode 71, was when Melissa almost got scammed trying to become a production assistant. And that was 11 months ago, almost 12 months ago, almost 1 year ago. So that was shot on July 30th, which would literally be in 4 days from now. So, yeah, isn't that crazy?
I think that, like I said, I really think that once the house is gone, it's gonna be crazy, because like the money that we've made. Because I'm like, think about if the money that we made at the craft fair, we were able to put that full $1,300 back into the candles.
Right.
Full thing.
Imagine we were able to pay for craft fairs like for a whole month. Like, okay, every weekend this month we have a craft fair, and we can like pay in advance. Right now we can only pay when we have the money. It's like, okay, we could pay for August because we have, but we got to buy it in May. Mm-hmm. So, but if we had the money to buy all of August and September as they come up, and just be like, you know what, we don't want to do it, let's just cancel it and not do it. But so I do have a Donovan's question for today. My questions for today is, and I had asked my guy Tori this question. Okay, it is, what is the benefit of being a man? Not a male, M-A-L-E, but a man. And a man, to me, because I think this question is always asked, and trying to figure out what it is, and how I would define a man is an energy, because I don't think that you can necessarily in words describe a man. Personally, that's how I feel. I do think that there are men across the spectrum, and by men again I don't mean males. There are males, and then I think there are men. But I think that women know when they see a man. Like, it's very different than when they see a male or a boy. They feel very different around that kind of person. And to me, I think that is what embodies a man. Now, a man could play anime. A man could play video games. A man could sell dresses or make dresses. None of those things, in my opinion, necessarily define whether the person's a man or not. I think, again, it's how they carry themselves. And I think that's why it's hard for the whole transgender argument of like what is a man and what isn't a man, is because people are trying to say like, well, men play basketball. Like, well, women play basketball too. It's like, well, men are supposed to chop down wood. Well, she does that too. And I don't chop down wood. So am I a man? And it's like, and I think that kind of dilutes the argument. I do think that it's an energy thing about it. I would also say a prerequisite is having a penis. I would probably say that too. But regardless of that fact, I would lean more so the energy thing. Now, when I asked this question, my thought process was this, that when it comes to being a man, right, the things you have to endure to be a man are more or less kind of, what would that word be? Suppressing your emotions. That's one of the things. Also taking the brunt of everything, being the bigger person in all situations, having to do a lot of things you don't want to do. To me, I think that those are things that do embody a man. Keeping other people safe, I think, also does embody what a man is. And I was thinking about it, and I was just like, okay, what does a man get for that, right? And I personally believe that is the reason why now we have less males who want to be men. And I think it's funny enough, I'll come back to this, but I think if I gave you a list, right, of all the things to do to be a man, like all the things, you have to make enough money, you have to, be punctual, you have to make somebody feel safe, you have to take the lead, you have to suppress your emotions and put everyone else's needs before yourself, those kind of things, right? And I said, okay, the outcome would be what? The outcome would be you get a lot of women, some men respect you, you might get further in the workplace, maybe you feel better. I don't think you feel better personally. And I couldn't really come up with a lot of the benefits of following the path of being a man, of being honest all the time and calling out wrongdoing. And I believe that is part of the reason why there's a transgender situation going on, other than people pushing it. But I think it's because if you look at men, or males, they go, what do I get from doing that? The guy that is on TV, on, YouTube or whatever, who's quote unquote a snitch, let's say, use that as an example. The reason I use snitch as an example is because the reason why a snitch was supposed to be lower than a man or lower than dirt is because you decided that you were going to play this game with us. You decided you're going to come in here and you're going to follow these rules. That's your word you took for it. And then as soon as you get caught up, you're now going, oh, no, I don't want to do it no more. It's too much for me. I'm out. And I think that was the problem people had with snitches. It's like, you can't commit all these crimes with us and then throw us under the bus so you can get out. Right. And I think that, again, that it does embody a less manly energy. I feel like you can't feel as manly when you have to say, yeah, I snitched on my friends to get out for myself. There's an air of like, oh, okay, like I don't really trust you. Like, you kind of suspicious. Like, your word doesn't really mean much. And I think that is why the snitch was supposed to be a bad thing. But if you look at it now in this perspective that we're trying to present today, it's more so of protect yourself and only you and nobody else. So throw everybody under the bus, do what you want to do. You don't have to lead. You can go on social media and make up lies about somebody and become rich. You can be a snitch and become successful at a different career. So the morals that we used to have, or my assumption of what we used to have, I feel as though now they don't really have any merit or weight to it, because you could be a guy, and this is what I talked about earlier, about as far as being or having benefits of being a man. Let's say that you are an upstanding guy, right? And then you get cheated on. And you're like, damn, that's kind of crazy. Like, I was being a good dude, and because, maybe she wasn't ready to be in a relationship or whatever the case might be, she cheated. And it's kind of like, okay, that happened a couple of times. Let's say now you're outside, people look at you as a man, they want to take shots at you because they feel like, okay, you're more masculine, or they feel like you're intimidating them just by you being around, right? Because I believe that masculine men make unmasculine men feel uncomfortable. And Now, just by existing, people want to tear you down. So you look at it from that perspective, and I think it becomes a thought of, well, why would I want to do that? Like, there's no benefit. And I think now, if we had a situation where men, or the masculine energy is that we see and feel, I think that if it was applauded more, we would have more of it. But it's not. So we go in the other direction. We have less of it, in my opinion, because of that same reason. It's not applauded, and what is applauded is the other side. So now you have a situation where a person has an option. They go, okay, I could be this manly energy thing, right? I could have that, exhibit those qualities. Or I could not do it, right? Just exist and get the same benefits, if not more, than that one. Why would I do that? What's the point of standing to my morals if this is what happens? Like, there's no real benefit to it. And I believe that is one of the reasons why, or some of the reasons why we have a lot less masculine energy feeling men. Now, here's my other thing about this, right? This is where my logic starts to kind of, I have to challenge myself to think about these kind of topics. So I think that for the majority of people, we see a masculine man and we know he's like that dude is a man. Like, we could tell by the way he talks, dresses, walks, whatever, that's a man, right? And if I told you to draw out what a man would look like, here's where the confusion for me is. And like I said, you guys can feel free to tell me, what you may think about this, because if I was to ask you, my first question would be to define what a manly man is, right? What would he look like? What would you draw him as? What kind of things do you think about? I'm asking Melissa what she thinks. Yes. And I want you to describe in your mind the most masculine man you could think of. Describe that to me.
The most masculine?
Right. The super masculine man. Give me some qualities, some physical qualities of this man, or even non-physical. Both actually would be good.
First thing that comes to my mind is like an image of lumberjack.
First thing, lumberjack. Okay, keep going. What else?
Chopping wood. Muscles. Big.
Right.
Probably, beard.
Go on, keep going. What else you got?
He's just like, I'll get that for you. Like,
okay.
Kind of energy. You see me carrying something, you're like, wait. We'll get that for you. Kind of thing. Like taking charge or like commanding the room, being like, I was gonna say strong, like with their words, like spoken, but like I feel like that's not the best word to use for that, because it's kind of like you're talking with like conviction, or like at least standing behind what you say or what you mean. I think those would be what comes to mind. Okay, so that's how Melissa would describe a man, like a masculine man, right? Now I'll get to the part I've been saying about the dilemma for me is how or what is a feminine woman? What is a quintessential woman? Because if I was to ask you, let me ask you this question too. Celebrity you could think of, who is a masculine man that comes to mind? Masculine man, probably like Jason Momoa or like The Rock, or like said those two. I feel like there's somebody else. I'm trying to find someone that's like black. I mean, I think The Rock is black, but I know, but I feel like he's light. He's so light. Right. You need someone dark. What about Mike Tyson? Will he be a man to you? Yes or no? You can say no. That's fine. You can say no. You don't see him as that. That's fine. I'm trying to think of some strong, like, what about Denzel Washington? Yeah, Denzel, yeah. But, like, I feel like there's someone else that I'm missing. And I'm very upset that I can't think of it. Well, LeBron. No? Giannis? I don't watch basketball. So like, that's fine. I'm thinking of people that I could think of that might fit into what we might be as. Because I don't really know, like, I can't think off the top of my head. Right. I think whoever I'm thinking about, I don't know their names.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Now, when it comes to a woman, if you were to ask me, what is a quintessential woman? What is a super feminine woman? Somebody that's very feminine. What would that be? And this is where I get confused, because how is it that we have such clearly defined roles or clearly defined character traits for what a manly man is supposed to be, but it's not as obvious for a woman? Now, if I was to think about that, right? Think about it. I think the first thing that comes to mind would be cooking and cleaning. That would be it. Like, that's what comes to mind first. But maybe getting their nails done, things like that. So I think part of the problem as far as the transgender thing goes is we have a situation where we have demonized what a man is supposed to be, but we also have not told people what a woman actually is. So because we have not defined a woman, people feel like they could be a woman. And this is the thing about being a man, in my opinion, why I say it's about an energy thing. I think that women will see men, and other actually men too, will see, quote, masculine men and go, I'm going to pretend to be that. Like, I'm going to try and imitate what he's doing, and that's going to make me a man. So he's wearing lumberjack. Like, imagine what Melissa said, a guy that's wearing lumberjack and doing these things, say, hey, I'm going to get that for you. I'm going to wear this lumberjack sweater. I'm going to chop this wood, right? And a woman may see that, or a non-male man may see that and go, if I do that, I'll be a man. And the reason why I disagree is because it's the things that the person does and thinks about that then causes them to have that energy. So, like, the reason why the person is this, imaginary masculine man is helping this woman with, I don't know, her groceries, is because he's like, you know what? I'm strong. I don't want you to hurt yourself. I'm going to do this for you.
Not just because I think this is what men do.
Right, exactly. Not because, men's supposed to do this, I'm going to do it. And I think that's a different kind of energy, because I think that he will do it because it's the right thing to do. It's a moral thing, as opposed to, look at me, I'm being a man, guys. I'm carrying her groceries. Why am I not getting praise for this? I don't understand. I need my praise. I'm carrying the groceries. Everybody's like, okay, we don't care. Like, nobody cares you're carrying the groceries. But you're like, he's doing it. He's a man. Why would I do it? Nobody say nothing to me. And I think that for the whole transgender argument, women see that and go, I'm going to try to imitate that. But I don't think you can imitate it because you don't know where it comes from. So now go back to the women thing. Who would you say, Melissa, of all celebrities or people you know, is a woman, quintessential woman? Like, this is a woman right here. Like, she's a woman, feminine, very feminine energy. Who you got?
I don't think people are gonna like my answer.
Why not?
Who do you think it is?
Doja Cat?
Sometimes.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Why do you say she's a woman? What do you think about her makes her a quintessential woman to you?
I think that she taps into her femininity in a way that is unapologetic.
But what is that?
I think that it's kind of like in how she dresses. Well, that's the thing. It's only sometimes, though. Don't quote, like,
that's fine. Like I said,
her whole,
I'm trying to figure out what are the things that do that.
It'll be like how she does her makeup, the colors that she uses, the imagery that she uses for her either her music videos or her performances, her outfits. I think it's very feminine. It's very much what I think encompasses that. It's
but what are those?
Catwoman.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yes,
You're
okay, fine.
name the, because with the man you gave me the things.
I know.
Name the things with the woman.
So I think it's, like I said, I think it's makeup.
Okay.
I think it's the colors and how what she wears fits her body. I think it's kind of the sexuality that is displayed through her music, where it's like, like, I know have the goods, got the boobs, got the butt, got this, got the that.
Okay.
How to use it. And I think another reason is when I listen to her music, I feel feminine.
Okay.
So I think that's why. But I feel like that's not really a good answer to
Not really. But it's not. But like I said, I think this is part of the problem because I don't really have an answer either.
I wonder if that, you know what it is?
What?
This is the core to everything. Men are visual.
Okay.
So I can see the things that make you a man. Women, feelings. You feel feminine. You don't see femininity like that, really. You feel it. I feel pretty. I feel...
And that, I mean, I'd also go back to the whole energy thing where you don't actually... That's why women don't know what it is to be a man, because they think they see it, and they think that's what I have a problem with, where women feel like a man who's yelling all the time, who's loud, is a man. And that bothers me because I'm like, that's not that. That's the equivalent of a guy putting on getting breasts and ass and makeup and going, I'm a woman now. Or it's like, well, you said makeup and dancing, so I'm doing that. I must be a woman now. And it's like, nah, you're not a woman.
I think being a woman, what it means to be a woman is attached very much to how we feel. I think it's how we approach situations, our emotions. Like, one thing that I saw was interesting was on TikTok. I want to look more into it, but just on a base level, it was a girl talking about how much her life has changed now that she has synced everything that she does to her cycle.
That's interesting.
Because typically, the way that the work day is structured, the way that the week is structured, the way most things are structured are based off of what men experience, how they experience their days. As a woman, when I release it, when I'm making semen every day, we got this one egg, our whole month revolves around this one thing, and there's different things that's happening throughout the month during that time. So a lot of our emotions are tied to that. And I think that and it's like, whether or not you're able to get pregnant, whether or not you're able to have whether or not you have a period, I feel like feelings and emotions are very, very much tied to being a woman.
So now the reason why I brought up these questions was because I don't think that women in this day and age know what it is to be a woman. And I also think that what the idea of a woman is or was has also been demonized. And it's kind of like women should now be more of the providers and the leaders, and men should be more of the nurturing and the caring type. That's kind of what it is. And I think the reason that is comes back to, like, if you think about wars, right? When they have a war, one of the things they always do is they destroy the history of the people, because they don't want you to know where you came from, because it's easier to control a person who doesn't know what the history is. And I think that is what is happening with men and women, because it's like, what does it mean to be a woman? It's like, I don't know, have big titties and big ass, like.
Because it's like, I understand what you're saying. I think that just because that's who a man is or a woman is historically doesn't mean that's what I want to be now.
So this is okay. I'm glad you brought that up, because it's not about what you want to be now. It's about knowing where you come from. So that would be the equivalent of saying, well, because I'm Jamaican, I can't wear Chinese costumes. And it's like, no, you can do that. You want to wear Chinese costume, you want to dress up as a Japanese, or you want to dress up as some other culture, you can do that. But you're Jamaican. And I think that the difference now is like, no, I'm Chinese because I'm wearing Chinese clothing. It's like, no, you're not. Like, that's not where you come from. And I think that, like you're saying now, what women have been kind of told, like, well, you can be whatever you want. And it's like, no, you are a woman first. Before anything else, you are a woman. Do you want to be a stronger woman in terms of, in this particular aspect? Sure. But that still should, in my opinion, should come from what it is to be a woman. But the problem is, I don't think we know what it is to be a woman. So it's like, okay, I'm just gonna go out here and just do whatever I want to do. But if you talk to most women, they usually say they want the same things. Like there's a core wanting, I feel like, that women go, I want this, 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 and this.
Yes. What I was talking about earlier was more so in terms of the roles that we have to play being
like what?
A historical woman, which would be pretty much cleaning, cooking, and not doing anything unless your man says so.
But women love that.
Sure.
But see, that's what I'm saying is.
But that's the thing. It's like, but some don't.
My experience, I'm gonna say 99% want that. That's like, no matter how strong the woman is, she wants a man that's gonna make her be like, don't do that. No matter how, she could be a bodybuilder, she could be the CEO when she go.
Sure, but I feel like that's different. Maybe I have to read up on it more to kind of understand how things were back then. But I'm kind of under the impression that it's like you have to kind of do what any man tells you to do, like whether it's like it's your boss, like your co-worker, they take precedent because they're a man.
So I'm glad you brought that up too. We had this conversation the other day about when you went to the gas station, what happened with Melissa was she had went to the gas station to get some gas, and a guy in a wheelchair came up to her and was kind of bothering her about pumping her gas and trying to get money from her. And another guy had came over and gave the guy money, right, to get him away from you. Is that what happened?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so the other guy came over and kind of like ushered that guy away. Now, this is my theory. I think that women would have less of an issue following majority of men if the majority of men were acting like what a man is supposed to be. Because I think what a man would do in that situation is like what he did, like, hey, why are you bothering her? Leave her alone. She told you she doesn't want you doing the thing. And I think if that guy said to you, hey, listen, miss, you need to go inside the store right now, I think you'd be like, okay, I'm going inside because this man I don't know is going to protect me from this other thing.
Right, but I feel like everyone doesn't come from a place of protection, and that's the problem.
But that's not a man, and that's what I think the problem is that.
You feel like, okay, so you feel like if the person is a real man, they won't try to take advantage of you or put you in that type of position.
Exactly, and I think that women overall be more trusting of men if they know that most men that I come in contact with are trying to protect me from danger or trying to help me with my groceries or whatever the case. Hey, you seem like you're walking on the side of the road, you need help, your groceries are heavy, I'm gonna pump your gas for you. I don't even want your number or nothing. I just want to make sure that you good and you go about your day.
That's very interesting, because I feel like when I watch a lot of shows and stuff, it'd be like men is just dangerous. Like you don't want to be around them.
Right.
They're gonna push stuff in your drink. They're gonna drag you out in the middle of the street. But I think being around men, some of y'all, makes me feel uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. But I have been in situations where other men have recognized my uncomfortability from another man and stepped in and, done something about it. Or, tried to make me feel safe. Mm-hmm. So I do agree with you that that duality is not shown or not really like. Because I'm trying to think, but in both situations, I never called out to the other man for help, and I wouldn't have. Does that make sense?
And what's both situations? In like
gas station, and then there was a situation in college. I'm just thinking about the fact that as a woman, I did not look for another man to help in the situation. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Because it's like all the problem.
Right, and that is another part of the problem where I don't know if a chicken or egg thing. I think that men are demonized. Somewhere along the line, what it was to be a man at some point was like, okay, we're going away from that. I don't know if if it was a military thing. I don't know if it was like a situation where the environment changed or something. But somewhere along the line, I feel like women felt less safe with men.
I think it has to do with I think it has to do with the military thing for sure, because you have women that were in, certain relationships or whatever, before wars would happen, their husbands would go away. Now they have to take up those responsibilities. Prior to having those responsibilities, it was kind of like, well, you just cook and clean. Now I'm taking control of things, and things are still running smoothly. And it's like, oh yeah, I can do this. And then you come home, and some people have PTSD. Some people, they get very abusive after going off to war with their women. So now you come home, you're beating me, you're doing all these things, and I know that I have the capability to do these things myself. I'm not gonna trust you anymore to take care of me, to protect me, and now I have to do this myself. So I think that's then taught to your daughters.
There's something wrong for sure. I can't figure out what it is, because in previous podcasts, and this is like a super, 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 super deep underlying theory that I have. Okay. But current thought process that I have conflict with it. I feel like women are the most powerful between men and women. That's been my theory that I've had for a while. And the reason I always say that is because I think the person who has the most power is the person that has the thing that other people want. I think the problem is that women are not physically strong enough to protect themselves from the thing that other people want, which would be the sex and the babies and stuff. So it makes them seem like they're weaker. But just because you stole from me doesn't mean that I'm weaker. I'm the one that has the value. You're trying to steal it from me. And I really believe that it's a theory I have that women are supposed to be in power, but I don't know what that looks like. And I don't know, and it might be a situation where women in power is not what a man looks like in power. And I think that might be where the problem is. I think women who are in power try to appear like a man in power, as opposed to what a woman who's embracing her femininity looks like in power. And I think that might be part of the problem.
Yeah, it's funny. I literally was having that same thought while you were saying it. And I feel like we've even seen that kind of idea play out in like movies. Like Donovan hates when like there's a fight scene with women versus men or something like that looks like it's choreographed from like a man fighting. Yeah. Because it's like that's not realistic. That's not how women will fight. That's not how this would go. As opposed to like when you see a woman fighting, like how women would fight. It's like it's artful. Like it looks different. Yeah. It's not the same. And I think that because the standard of power is viewed through the lens of a man, that's what they're gonna show it as. So I think it's the same situation where I do agree that like women in power probably looks different than a man in power. I really don't know what it looks like, and I think the reason why I don't know what it looks like is because that's kind of like I feel like it's like a behind the scenes pulling the strings kind of thing, versus being the person in front and on the podium.
I'm not gonna lie. I could get behind that. But and that could be part of the problem, is because the man is the figurehead and the woman is the one that has the power. So the appearance will always be as though he has the power, because that's what you see. Like a CEO or president or whatever, you look like, oh, that's that. I see his face. He's the one in charge. But this is what I think, and that's the last thing I say on this. I think that the women's power is the ability to have men do things for her, right? And I think that in terms of being in charge, it looks more like that. Like when she comes in, men are swooning over her. Hey, you want me to get your bags for you? Hey, you want me to get this? Hey, I got this thing for you. You ready? I just got this thing finished. You want this? I think that is what a woman who knows how to use her power looks like.
Because I feel like that's still like a vanity kind of thing, though.
It's not. I think it's more energy than vanity. Because like it's not about, because you could look pretty and come in the office and people just don't respect you. But there's a respect about a woman also that I think she has, that men will be like, oh man, I want to do things for her. Like she seemed like she needs. I'm gonna help her with those. Something about her makes you want to help her.
I can see that. We're used to thinking about men looking at women for only the sexual aspect, but I do think that men look at women to be nurtured. And I feel like if you nurture a man, that they will want to protect you. So if you're like even a mother figure or someone that that they can confide in or makes them feel better, I feel like they'll probably go to bat for you as well, as opposed to you just being attracted for sex.
Yeah, I think that if women use sex like only sex, then it doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it has to do with nurturing or being nurturing or. What?
Okay, like I said, I'm trying to get off it. I think the quintessential woman is a sugar baby.
I don't know about that one.
I'm gonna tell you why, and I'm talking about the higher class ones, the ones we've seen on the Clubhouse. They know how to be a woman. They know the things that's not public though, and that industry is demonized. But it's probably because I was watching an Inside Job documentary. The woman who was running like a whatever you want to call it. She's like, yeah, I have credit cards of like two CEOs and the main people of all these companies. I could just charge whenever I want. Yeah. Like, now how does that happen? How does a regular person from Kentucky now have the credit card of the executive of Morgan Stanley? How does she do that? What did she do? She didn't just say, I want to have sex with you. That couldn't have been it.
And they know a lot more than that too.
Right.
It's more than just credit card. It's upcoming deals. It's this company's about to do this. It's stocks.
More women should be inside trading, and they might be. We don't even know.
They probably are.
Right. We don't even know. Hey, listen. Hey, babe. We should get this deal coming up soon. We should buy some apples. They're gonna split soon, and then you buy it. And now you're a millionaire. Who else knows but you? Don't tell nobody. If you tell anybody, they're gonna come to me, and just don't tell nobody. But listen, it's gonna go through tomorrow.
I really wonder if that's. I don't know. I feel like it's multifaceted. So I'm gonna leave that for you.
Yeah, like I said, it gets deeper and deeper. Damn. I got messed up on my list I want to talk about. But that one lasted too long. I'm telling you, we was almost there, but that one got so deep. It had more, like, we kept peeling back the layers, and it was more and more and more.
It's interesting because I feel like you also want to look at it from multiple sides. You don't only want to be like, well, it's just sex, or it's just this, or it's just that.
Yeah.
It's like there's different things in being a man and different things in being a woman.
Oh, you know, here's what I want to do. I want to find one of these sugar babies or these people that be getting the money from the men, and I want to have them teach a course on how to be a woman.
How to be a woman.
Yes.
That's very interesting.
Because they know. They like I said, I remember we was in a Clubhouse room one time. We was on a podcast. We talked about this. And one of the women who was in there talking about how to get a man to buy you stuff and spend money on you, right? She was like, don't dress like no hoe. She was like, go to the library. Go to these go to these kind of places. Go talk to him about, go to the restaurant. Go to these other places that is not the strip clubs. She's like, people with money are not in strip club. They're not in this. They're not here. That's not where they at. And it was just funny to me about how she was talking about or teaching it about what women should do, how to meet men, what to say to them, how to dress, how to keep. She was like, listen, what she said, she had a line. Oh my gosh, she had a fire line. It was like, it's about being overdressed, or you remember what it was? She was like, I'm never doing too much. It was something like that. It was like either being overdressed. She was like, I always want to be overdressed wherever I go, because I'm like, that is not a real concept, is what she was saying. She was like, where can I go where I'm overdressed? That was her thing. Like, because they were like, why are you doing your nails, your makeup, and your hair, everything every time you go out? For what? Like, why are you doing that? You only go to the grocery store, you only going to the thing, you only going over there. And she was like, why would I not do that every time I go outside? And it was like, ooh. She was like, I want to be ready and prepared when I go outside. Every time I leave the house, I'll be ready and prepared. And I was just like, there's something there. There's something to that. There's something there.
And funny enough, that does, I think, fall in line with historical what women would do. I do think so. Yeah.
I'm telling you, listen, that's the secret code. You find you not a stripper, but sugar babies, and only the real. Listen, oh my God, man, I can't even, bro. She was going in that room. She was talking about so much stuff in that room. Like, she was really dropping gems, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. This is just free. And she was like, on just, oh my God. Like, think about this. This is the last. After this, I'm gonna end the podcast. If you are a regular guy right now, right? Even a regular woman, and I told you by the end of the year, you need to link up with billionaires and get on a boat and hang out with them. How would you even go about doing it? I'll give you 6 months, honestly. Not a year. You got 6 months.
6 months. I have an idea because I've been watching the Sugar Baby.
What's your plan? What you gotta do?
Plan? Boom. We'll hit up bars and like the
A billionaire? Okay, I'm listening.
Cause you gotta first get in with just like not billionaire yet, but just someone that's like making a higher amount. So you would just want to go to like the area, let's say 57th Street or whatever, go to bars around there. So because that's where people hang out after work. Kind of get to know those people, kind of get to hear where they be at or whatever, and just to get an idea, just get a little idea. Country clubs probably. I don't know.
How do you even dress for that? You gotta figure out how to dress for a country club.
Yeah. I mean, you could just get a job there. Like, you could just, or like, you got to stake it out. Go on a tour. See what people.
So how you know who's a billionaire?
Huh?
How you know who's a billionaire?
How do you know who's a billionaire?
Right. How you know who has the real money?
That's why I said maybe work at one. Because then you would kind of see who's spending what, who's in what room.
But here's the thing. You got to also learn what is expensive. What's the real watch versus a cheap watch?
Yeah.
You get a Rolex for $40K. That's not expensive. You think it's expensive till you find out that they got watches for $8 million they wearing. That shit look like a G-Shock. And you like,
bruh. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Yeah. I would definitely start at like either a country club or like an Equinox or something of the sort.
I don't think they had Equinox.
I'm not saying they're going to be there, but I feel like that would be my starting point. And then try to work my way up from there. Either with the people that I meet there and talk there, network with, whatever. Oh, what? There's a gala? Oh,
see?
+1. You want me to be sure. And then now you got the gala. And
see? This is my thing. This is my theory. I don't think that they're going to be at galas. I don't think that the person who's going to Equinox will be going to galas. I think that the person that goes to Equinox has the 20K Rolex on. I think you want to go. This is my opinion. If you want to find a billionaire, it's my assumptions. Go to places that people are buying boats, places that people are going private, doing private jets, art galleries where they maybe like a auction or something like that. Like, what do billionaires do in their free time, and then go to those places?
Okay, I can see.
That's what my assumption would be. But I don't even know where billionaires really hang out like that at.
That's why I said golf clubs.
Right, that's another one. They love to golf, I've heard.
Right. So that's why I said that would be my starting point.
Wine, really expensive wine. You can learn about the wines. Good, but anyways, listen. We'll be back here next Tuesday. You can find all the behind the scenes content on our social medias. Mine is Donovan Gray, DONIVANGRAY, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. Okay, you know what it is. Hashtag Bamboo Project 2021. Excuse me, 2022. Okay, 2022. And with that being said, Bamboo Project.